Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. in New Vienna, Iowa, Monday, October 12th, 2020. Means it's time for another live stream. And because it's Monday, we're going to have a Monday mukbang today. And today, what I thought I would do is I would have a little bit of this. My daughters made it yesterday. If you saw like the thumbnail for the live stream, that's what it looked like on the outside. It was already cut. We already ate some of it. It wasn't a cake made specifically for the live stream. It was a cake that my daughters made, and they're really good at making cakes. They're not so good at eating them, so I felt like I could have some of the cake for the live stream. But here is what it looks like when it's cut open. So it's got the orange buttercream frosting on the top, buttercream in the middle, and none of this is pumpkin cake, though. It's all just white cake, food colored, different colors. I want to say purple, green, black, and orange are the colors that they were going for on this one. So that's going to be it. And the word of the day today is cake. So I'm pretty sure I said cake at some point. So we're going to get that started for today. Oh, that's the wrong one. No, that was the wrong one. Here it is. Here's the word of the day. There it is for cake. So that's where yesterday word of the day was burrito. I know some of you guys said it. I missed it. And I meant to come back to it and circle back to it. I never did. So sorry about that. You guys did great. Soul Brother says it's a cake scream. Yes. Awesome. For that. Yeah, I gotta eat some of the cake. I'll tell you what, though, I do know what it already tastes like because I didn't have any yesterday. Because to be honest, I fell asleep before the cake was done yesterday. But I did have some for breakfast today, and I'm having some more now. I gotta tell you, my kids make good cake. I mean, my wife helped too, but they're good at making cake. Awesome. Let's see who else is here. We got David Prabhu's here. Mark Chancoco says that looks amazing. Yeah, I mean, they've been having so much fun baking stuff at Grandma's house. I think what really helps is that Grandma's got a big, huge kitchen, lots of space for everyone to work and participate. So that makes it really nice too. And like, I mean, we did a lot of baking before. But now we've just gone like crazy with food coloring. So everything that the kids make has food coloring in it. Like my daughter just made biscuits this morning, like buttermilk biscuits, and she made them yellow because she just felt like it. And then the baby helped make some waffles the other day, like little ones. They have like a little like novelty waffle iron, and they take the batter, they mix it up into different portions and put different color in it. So it's like tie-dyed waffles. So they've just been enjoying it. So it's just regular baking, but with food coloring. So like there's no weird flavors. Everything tastes fine and good and normal. But like the kids love it just because the colors are so weird. Martha says OMG about the cake. Stevie76 says cake. Let's do one more. We'll get more sound of the day. Awesome. And we got Roberto Davila's in here as well. What's going on, everyone? Jennifer Herring says, I almost didn't find the live stream today because the pumpkin didn't look like him. That's funny. Luis Becerra's here. Chris Yao. All right. He says, oh, okay. The pressure is on. Beginner guitar from Germany has arrived. Running recovery now means watching YouTube guitar videos. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. That's cool. I will have to check in on your progress on that over the next couple of days and weeks. Yeah, Martha says yes for more chocolate, assuming that the brown frosting is chocolate. You know, I suggested to them the other day that they could put cocoa powder into the frosting, and the baby, who loves, her favorite food is Nutella. So the baby was just like, why would we do that, Dad? And I was like, you're gonna have to trust me on that one. You're gonna like chocolate frosting. But they're just so used to like doing the frosting their way. When they make cookies, we do the sugar cookies. The sugar cookies are usually the same regular color, but they like to put food coloring in the frosting. I don't think that they've done a lot of sugar cookies with food coloring in it yet. So like their whole world has been open. I don't know why it didn't occur to them. They could just put food coloring in everything, but it has occurred to them now. And so now like they're also just, which kind of annoys me a little bit, is I feel like if a food is a certain color, it should taste that color. So that's why I don't like M&Ms that much, because I'm like, all the different colors of M&Ms, they all taste the same. But the kids like to have just the different colors, and I wouldn't mind some chocolate frosting, or like chocolate cake. I prefer chocolate cake. I love chocolate sheet cake. That's like one of my favorite cakes. So I'm hoping I keep like suggesting it. I'm like, hey, chocolate sheet cake guys, should we do that? How about chocolate cake? It never comes up. Probably because you can't food color it. But we'll see if I can convince the baby that chocolate frosting is a good thing. All right. Martha says, I'm already hungry. I hope he's going to share it with us. I'd love to be able to share a cake with you guys. That'd be great. Someday soon we'll be able to do that. Rumner Brad says, I'm currently making skeleton cookies. That sounds fun. I don't know if you guys ever watched the show on, I think it's a Netflix show. I don't think it's a Food Network show. But my daughter has been binge watching a show called Nailed It. And I don't know if the show is always, I don't think it's always about Halloween stuff, but it has been lately. And it's about bakers, and they take like not great bakers. Kind of bad, intentionally they pick bad bakers, and they have to get these people to make or mimic a dish. And one of the ones they had to do recently was like cookies, so it reminded me of that. But this is not, I mean, and it always comes out terribly, and it's pretty funny, but this is not that. And I'm sure Brad's our skeleton cookies are going to be awesome. I don't like sugar cookies, but I really enjoy cookie cutouts. That I don't know why, but it's not a thing that I would normally think I would like, but I like it. I like it. Rainrunner says, my need to leave because of the cake talk equals I want cake. Yeah. The word's going to come up a lot, and we're going to be talking about it a lot today. But I don't know. I do find that like the different colored cake is appealing. So I kind of like that. Michael Doobie is here. It says, new to the live stream. Love the channel. Awesome. Welcome, Michael. As you can tell, it's not going to be all talk about running, but if anyone has a question, if you got any questions, feel free. We do eventually get back to running talk, but Mondays is just a Monday mukbang. It's not always just random food that I have lying around the house, although the last couple of weeks, I admit it has been. I did just put in an order for a bunch of new running themed stuff. So the next couple of weeks of Monday mukbangs will be actually like running related. So I don't know if that's better or worse, but at least it's on, I guess on brand is the word. It's on theme, you know. Sean Marshall's here, but he's driving home from school. He's just going to listen. Very cool. Very cool, Sean. Simon Evans says, 2 years ago, my daughter wanted a poop emoji birthday cake. A lot of chocolate frosting was used. That's perfect. And we also just I did say cake again. So we got to do that. But my daughters were asking me like, hey, Daddy, what kind of cake do you want? And I was like, I don't know. How about like, can you make a cake in the shape of a shoe? That'd be kind of fun. Or I was like, you know, I know, but then I was like, well, my wife's really the one that has to make this. And if I told the girls that I want like a cake in the shape of a running shoe, my wife might be mad because I don't know how one would make a cake in the shape of a shoe. So I was just like, hey, for Father's Day, you guys made me a yellow cake that was just a happy face emoji. I really like that one. So they were like, oh yeah, let's make another happy face emoji. But a poop birthday cake, I think they even make molds for that. Did you end up making one? So you made, because there's a lot of chocolate frosting. Simon, did you make one? Did you make a mold, or did you like carve it? I need some more detail on the poop emoji birthday cake, because that sounds pretty awesome. And then for mine, you could put candy corn in it. I think that would work. That would work. Oh, that's so funny. Awesome. Oh, Mark Jankoka says, I love Nailed It. Yeah, you know what? I haven't really liked any like cooking or challenge shows lately. I'm like over the format. But my daughter was watching like 3 or 4 episodes in a row yesterday on the TV, and I was like, this is actually kind of entertaining. Because you got to find the right level of like not good at cooking. Because it's easy to find people that are just horrible, right? And nothing would work. You got to find people that know enough to get themselves into trouble, to be too ambitious, like beyond their skill. And I feel like when they do that, when they find the right person, then it ends up being pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, mom's here. Hi, mom. How are you? Christian says, Kapuzi, you want food to taste like it looks. Would you ever try out one of the restaurants where the chefs create dishes that look totally different items than the food? Oh, yeah. No, I don't think I would like that. That in fact, usually like makes me angry. One of the things that, well, like one of my general like food ideas is that like I like food to be itself. I don't feel like food has to be other food, like turkey salami or turkey pepperoni. Like they taste okay, but it's like turkey is good as turkey. Just make it turkey. If I want salami, I should just eat salami, you know? But and like tofu dogs, like I don't just tofu is great. Hot dogs are great. I mean, I eat plant-based hot dogs from time to time too, just to make things simpler. Um, from like a family dynamics kind of perspective or just meal planning perspective, but I like it when foods are themselves. And do you guys remember like the Folgers Crystals commercials? We switched these restaurant diners like coffee with Folgers Crystals, and here's what, and we're gonna like see what they think. And then there was like the Saturday Night Live sketch about it, and they're like, and it was Chris Farley, and he just started freaking out. Like I feel like I don't like when people trick people with food. Like I don't like I was never a big fan of hiding things in my kids' food. Like if there was a food puree, I couldn't get away with it anyway because my daughter, I think she's going to be a sommelier when she grows up. She has an amazing sense of smell. She can detect anything that's in something. She's like, "You put onions in this, didn't you?" I'm like, "I just put so little in there." But so yeah, my daughter, I can't do that to her. I don't like doing it to myself or other people. And I feel like it would blow my mind if I was like, it looks like a hamburger, but it tastes like a whoopie pie. I'd be like, what's wrong with this? I don't understand. All right. And it says, with COVID, our circuit training is now static on a mat. We now need shoes with very little cushioning, but I'm not sure if I can get away with buying more shoes. Shoes with a low stack height, maybe. Yeah, I would think that for low stack height shoes. I think that I like the Atreyu, like just the regular one. I like that for gym kind of situation, but the upper is floppy. So depending on what you're doing in your circuit training, if you need a lot of ankle support, that might not work. Otherwise I would suggest like last year's Zante Pursuit was a good option for like low stack height shoes that you could also run in. Yeah, and then like when I think about shoes like for a gym, I think of like the Nike Metcon. There's a Reebok, like the CrossFit type shoes. I feel like those kind of work. So I'm not, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Good question. But maybe someone else has some other options for that. Low stack height shoes. I mean, there aren't really a ton of low stack height shoes anymore. I'll keep thinking about it. Simon Evans says, I made 3 to 4 layers of round cake of reducing diameter, stopped on top of each other, then covered it in brown frosting, then cut out eyes, mouth from ready roll icing. There you go. All right, I see how you did that. That makes sense. So it was like 3-dimensional poop emoji. I was thinking that it was going to be like 2-dimensional poop emoji, but you made it 3D. That's a lot of cake. That's a lot of cake. Yeah, Mark Chan Coco says there should be a nailed it type of show for runners, all the non-elites. Well, I mean, that'd be great if you. I think it would really work for a track meet because then you could do like shot, discus, steeplechase. That'd be awesome. Hurdles, people would hurt themselves on the hurdles. Maybe not high hurdles, but if you did like the 400 IM, like the 400 hurdles, that I think that would work. Like long jump, high jump, triple jump would be pretty funny too. That would be good. That'd be good. Yeah, Runner's Talk is here. Says, hi, what's going on? Mark Jangogo says, what qualifies as low stack height? Under 30 millimeters? I would say like under 14 in the forefoot. I would consider that to be low stack height these days. Yeah, Jeff Elliott says, maybe check out last year's Ultras. But, Ultra shoes aren't that low stack height. They're all like in the 20s, I think, aren't they? Maybe the Escalante Racers are lower stack height. But I don't know. Chris McLean says, yo, everyone from a very wet Yorkshire, UK. Well, how's it going, Chris? Good to see you. Sorry, that was a big bite of cake. Runner Talk says, I'm not doing so well, Mike. What's going on, Runner Talk? Hope I'm sorry to hear that. The Simon says, the steeple is way more dangerous than normal hurdles. That's true, but it's just funnier as well, though, because like people will fall in the water trap. Is that what they call the pit? Or I don't know what they call it, but there's the water that I think is super funny. And then I just feel like if you did like a non-elite steeplechase, like you'd have the thing like, you know, like when they would run up to it and then like, oh, no, stop. And then they would kind of like climb over it like it was a fence in a field, you know? And I just think that that'd be funny. I just think that'd be really funny to watch that. Double XL Asian, love the name, says, what's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Awesome. And Steven Gersdorf says, some reviewers have every piece of training device and electronic except barefoot shoes or barefoot training technique. That's true. That's true. I've been getting inundated on YouTube about barefoot shoes and barefoot training. So I am like, I've been looking at like Vivo Barefoot. Just I'm like, well, I do like the Ultra, but I also just feel like anytime I get into something that's like a little bit firmer or a lower stack height, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like this a lot. So I don't know. It's hard. I think that like, because like barefoot shoes have that association with the 5 fingers, which is a weird name for a product that goes on your foot, but I get it. But yeah, that's just like, it's easy to be like, ooh, I don't know if I want to go down that road. Yeah. Jody says, and that's a good point. What's going on, Jody? Under Armour should have a good low stack height shoe for circuit training. I think that's a good option. Oh no. Runners Talk tested positive for COVID. Bam, my running season. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that. I hope you're doing okay now, and I hope you're able to recover quickly. That's a real bummer. It's a real bummer. I hope you are safe. You'll have to let us know how it's going as you go through it. Oh yeah, Frank Hillier talking about like doing like a novice steeplechase would be. Isn't that just Most Extreme / Wipeout? I guess that would be, but I do love that show. I mean, Wipeout, I got really tired of it after a while, but that was a good show. I do like Holy Moly. I've been watching it with my in-laws. They like that show too. I mean, they say that they don't like it, but it was always on every week, or whenever it was on, it was always on. So I feel like I caught every episode of this season of Holy Moly, which is a pretty funny show as well, I think. Yeah. Double XL Asian says, finally made it to a live stream. We messaged a bunch on Instagram. Well, it's good to see you. Good to have you here. Yeah, Runners Talk says, I'm in recovery now. Well, good. Hope you're like the worst is behind you and you're on the other side of it. Let's see. Steven Gersdorf says, just watch Chariots of Fire, the barefoot running scene. I'll have to revisit that. I remember them running on the beach, but other than that, I don't remember them a discussion about barefoot running. So I'll definitely have to check that out. And Ennis says, my running partner runs barefoot. You mean Pep the dog? Yeah, of course he does. I mean, I don't know if you're talking about another running partner that you have, but I was like, if the dog, of course the dog runs barefoot. Tyler E says, what happened to the New Balance minimalist shoes that Anton Kuprika used to run in? I don't know who Anton is, but one of the many minimalist / barefoot running videos that like YouTube has been feeding me lately mentioned that New Balance shoe. And I was like, oh, that shoe looks pretty cool. I might check that out. Then I was like, oh, it doesn't exist anymore. But apparently it's been discontinued at some point. And yeah, Martha says lots of people got injured trying to do that. I think after reading Born to Run, and especially on the hard surfaces, the pendulums went back with Hoka. Yeah, I think that's how I understand like the way the trends went in the industry. Steven says barefoot is overhyped, but don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Barefoot running is a valid and important established training technique. I think that there's something there to it too. I'm hoping that I can get those kinds of benefits, but just doing it in zero drop shoes. I'm hoping zero drop is enough for me. I do like running in the zero drop shoes. My body seems to like that, so we'll see. And the problem is that people think it's barefoot all the time. I mean, I thought that once you did that, you kind of had to do that. But I mean, if it's a shoe that I like insert into rotation, I'm open to that idea. Fix and Stuff says, how many calories do you eat a day? I don't know. And I don't calorie count. I try to it's not a great day for me to talk about nutrition because I'm eating cake for the second time today because I had cake for breakfast. I also fed it to my children for breakfast. A lot of times they have Nutella on toast. So I'm like, it's splitting hairs to say no to cake. But, I don't really count too much. I think that I probably need somewhere around 3,000 to 3,500 calories a day if I'm in like a decent training mode. And I also tend to think that when I'm not feeling good, or times when I feel like my body feels a little bit more run down, like my knee has been weird lately, although I had a really great run today, feeling really optimistic about things, especially the trend the last several days, almost like last week. But when I feel like my body's not like feeling great, usually what it tends to be is, I haven't been sleeping that well, and I haven't been like paying as much attention to what I should be eating or listening to what my body's asking for. And a large extent, I just kind of equate it to like, well, I need to make sure I'm eating a little bit more plant protein or just protein. I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but maybe the things that I'm eating just happens to like fix it. But when I pay more attention to what I eat, or I'm a little bit more mindful about it, generally, cake aside, that's when I usually feel better. And I think that I need about 3,000 calories a day because I'm running for, an hour to an hour and a half a day. So I think that is a lot that needs to be replenished. Yeah. Steven says, all track coaches, at least in the 70s when he came up, made their teams go through barefoot sessions at the beach or on manicured grass. I had that too. My cross-country coach at the beginning, I went to two different high schools. My cross-country coach at one of my high schools, the one I went to first, we would go run on the beach in the off-season or in the early season. And that on our Saturday practices. So instead of everyone going to school on Saturday, on Saturdays, a lot of times, when we weren't racing, we would go to the beach and we would just run for about an hour on the beach barefoot. He said it was always really good for your ankles, and that would make you strong because in cross country, you're in the grass. It's not smooth surface. It's uneven. You need to have really strong ankles. And Martha says, if I lived near the ocean, I'd run barefoot on the damp sand, even when the tide is low. Yeah. I mean, I had that available to me in Chicago, and I almost never took advantage of it. I'm regretting that now. Oh, Aaron says, I've been following you since your top-down Nike bag review from way back. Might be weird, but I'm proud of you. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Aaron. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you've been around for so long. That's awesome. That's really great. Thank you. Runner's Talk says, Mike, did you see the Marathon of London? Yes, I did watch the London Marathon. I paid more attention to the women's marathon than the men's. Not for any reason, but probably because it came on first. But yeah. I did watch it. It was a good race. FPS Mzungu says, hey dude, love your vids. What sizing would you say I should get on the Vaporfly Next %? True to size? Yeah, I would say true to size. Whatever size you normally get for your running shoes, get that size. That's how I would go with it. Chris Dyke says, for our Japanese class, we used to watch a show called Takeshi's Castle, a true OG in the obstacle course style show. Yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, it's amazing that it's taken it took the United States like decades to catch up to Japanese game show technology, or like innovation. Technology is not the right word. Innovation. because it was always so bonkers and so bizarre. And it was like, why are they doing that? I don't understand. And then now, like, to contrast that to like the game shows that are on now in the US, everything's a remake. Press Your Luck. The one where they have the 6 celebrities and they have to write a word. It's like Celebrity Match Game or something like that. That one, that's with Alec Baldwin. That's not a great show. And then like even Who Wants to Be Weakest Link is back again. And so it's like, that's what we're going back to now? Okay. All right. I thought we had like advanced past that, but there's other fun shows in like the obstacle course style. And I still do like Ninja Warrior quite a bit. I think that's a pretty fun show. I know it's not supposed to be funny, but I mean, sometimes it's pretty funny. Let's see. Jody says, I just started indoor rock climbing and I'm finding it good for foot and ankle strength, as well as opening up the hips and flexibility. Yeah, that's cool. And I'm envious too, because before everything happened, I had just signed up to be a member at like the gym where my daughter does her rock climbing, and she was on a team there. And so I was going to learn to rock climb, so that way when there was like open wall, I don't know what it's called, like not open swim, but like when there was like family climb, I think, I could belay her so that way she could climb a lot more. Like that was the goal. And then also like I wanted to do it too, because, it just seems like it's fun. It seems like the kind of thing that I would be good at, I think. And for all the benefits you talked about, foot strength, ankle strength, and a different kind of endurance, and flexibility. I was looking for that, but that's cool. Really cool. Ben Y is here. What's going on, Ben? And Calvin says, Polar App said I burned 2,152 kilocalories today. Yeah, I mean, it counts your like calorie burn throughout the day. So like that counts as like the, like your daily recommended values of like 2,000 calories a day, is because you're burning that, like just existing. And then I think that's how it works too. Unless you're telling me you did 2152 in a workout. That's a pretty big workout. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. Sean Marshall said, I think the most important aspect of running nutrition for me was hydration, and how that can change depending on diet. That's true. That's true. Another thing to keep an eye on too. My hydration hasn't been the best the past couple of days. So it's something I need to keep a better eye on, I think. Yeah. A lot of people stating their love for Takeshi's Castle as well. Let's see, where'd that go? Just saw one that I wanted to read. Oh yeah, David Katowski says, "Have you ever seen Battle Royale? One of my favorite Japanese movies." I haven't seen that one. I gotta tell you, I have not watched a lot of Japanese movies, to be honest. Chris Dyke is, I'm reminded they remade TC into MXC on Spike. That was interesting. Yeah, remember that? Oh, it was before Wipeout. I totally forgot about that show. That was better. I think that was better. Yeah. Seal says, yeah, MXC was great to watch. I totally forgot that show existed. Oh, man. All right. Double XL Agent says, any taller or heavy runners in the chat recommend a plush or daily trainer that would last me more than 150 miles? Never worn Sauconys, and I'm leaning towards the Triumph 18. That's one that I would look at, or the 1080 V10. Like those are the two. Yeah, those are the two. Sorry, I'm massaging my hip. Suddenly it's just started to feel a little bit tight. I don't know. Char Marshall says, do you guys run through winter, take a break, or supplement your miles with other training? Good question, guys. I like to run through the winter. I don't like to take breaks. I don't think that I'm not routinely running hard enough where I feel like I need to take a break. So, yeah. I am thinking about figuring out a way to supplement the miles with other training, as you're saying, Sean. And I bought a spin bike, but it's in Chicago. And I'm thinking about buying a treadmill, even though this is not my house. But I'm thinking here's how I can pull it off. My mother-in-law has been doing a lot of exercising lately. She's a pretty active woman, but she recently just retired, and she used to be on her feet all the time. And I think that the change of pace is kind of boring her, and she's been getting a lot of exercise. She's been walking a lot. She's doing I want to say it's a breast cancer walk right now. So she's got had to do a certain number of miles in a certain number of days for a fundraiser. But she's just been really enjoying it. And she's been riding her bike too, and she's been riding with my wife. So they've been getting some fitness. And the other day, she mentioned it twice in the same day. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just don't like being outside when it's cold, but I do really want to keep walking. So I'm thinking I can probably convince my wife that's a good idea to try and find a place to set up a treadmill in here. So I think I'm hoping that we can work that out. Figure something out. Jeff Elliott says, I'm in the South, so he can run all winter. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Jody says, try bouldering, and that way you can both climb at the same time as you don't need ropes. Yeah, I was watching, I think Jen Sens is a YouTuber who does some climbing, because I saw her and I started subscribing and watching her because she made an at-home climbing wall, because that was something I was like, well, my father-in-law has all these tools. Maybe I can build something, and maybe I can have him help me build it, because I don't know what I'm doing. But she was doing some of that, and she was with I think her brother, and they were just going through a park, and they carried a mat so that if they fell a little bit, they'd be a little cushioned. And I was like, well, maybe that is something that we both could do. And I would, I do ideally it'd be a way to whatever her interests are, I want to, take an interest in that too. If she wants to do it completely by herself, fine. But I feel like if I get into it too, that will, kind of enable more of that activity. So definitely something I'm thinking about. She was super excited when we went yesterday, going through that park where they had to scramble over the rocks and go under the fallen trees and stuff like that. They thought it was a super fun adventure. So I feel like amplify that into a rock climbing kind of thing, and I think it could be super fun. Eric the Red says, I run until the temperatures are single digits. That's good. I mean, single digits, that's no joke. Chris says, bouldering is what I'm doing when I'm near the end of a long run. Stumbling, bumbling, bouldering across the finish line. That's pretty funny. This is too big a bite of cake. That's going to be a lot. I think I got a pretty big slice of cake for today. Oh, Roadrunner Reviews is here. What's going on? Good to see you. Sorry. Martha says, Kohuzi, I wrote in the comments that your daughter looks like she's going to like those obstacle running races like Tough Mudder. She might, she's ready. She's ready for something. I think that she's got some competitive energy that's a little bit pent up that needs a little bit of release. Like when we go hiking, she wants to run it. She wants to she's got some fire in her. So yeah, she might, I'm gonna have to, well, I think, we've talked, me and her, about we'll have to go the two of us so that she can run kind of as fast as she wants. So we've been talking about doing that too, because I think that she is, all kids not all kids, but a lot of kids at that age are pretty flexible and have good balance, but maybe I'm biased because I'm her dad, but I think she's got, a little bit above average. So I think we could push that and see where that takes her in terms of her interests, things that she might naturally want to pursue further. So yeah, I've never done a Tough Mudder. I don't know if they have kids Tough Mudders. That'd be kind of funny if there were, but I think that something like that she would probably really enjoy. All right, JC's going back to work. See you later, JC. Jesse Dorman says, what should I get for dinner tonight? That's a good question. I don't know what we're having here for dinner tonight. Yesterday, I made chicken, like a curried chicken. We had cauliflower and carrots roasted, and then some lentils, some beans, and some potato wedges. So that was dinner. And then my wife made a loaf of bread. So that's what we had. And then tonight, I don't know what we're going to do tonight. I haven't thought of anything. Usually after the live stream, my mother-in-law and we kind of like convene and talk about like, hey, did you think about dinner yet? Have you thought about dinner yet? What should we have? So sometimes she's got a plan. Sometimes I have a plan, but we never really usually know until after the live stream. But the chicken went over relatively well. It was curried chicken, but like just regular curry powder, nothing too exotic or spicy. But, I'm not sure it went over very well with the family. And it says cold weather running is great, but running in ice is no fun. I'll agree with that. I really do enjoy cold weather running. Yeah. Ben Y says, do you like lentils? What about some dal? Yeah, when I do the lentils, I just do them in the Instant Pot. So they're not the best texture, but I make a lot of them. I make up in quantity what it lacks in quality. And then I usually like to eat them as leftovers. I like to pair my lentils with like a fried egg and whatever leftover roast vegetables there are from the night before. And I kind of eat it as like a mid-morning snack. I wouldn't call it brunch, but it's kind of something that I like to eat between breakfast and lunch. Speaking of like calories and stuff, it's a good day when I get to eat that meal between breakfast and lunch. When I don't, those are days when I get pretty grumpy by the time I reach dinner time. I mean, not that I don't eat, but like, it puts me, I don't know if it just puts me at a deficit or what. I don't know. Right. Let's see what's going on down here. Chris says, had a big talk with my dad last night about us cutting back on the red meat and replacing more variety throughout the week. Well, that's cool. Was your dad receptive about it? We've been going through a lot of red meat here. Hamburger's pretty popular. But it's a lot of hamburger. A lot of ground beef is what we make here. Frank says, you still cook meat for your family? Me too. Yeah, I do because that's what they eat. So, well, the baby doesn't really eat much of anything. She eats whatever she wants to eat. Her favorite thing right now is a hamburger bun with ketchup and cheese. No hamburger, though. That's kind of her favorite. And strawberries. Like, that's what she eats these days. So, I'm not going to push her on it. But eventually she's going to need to eat something else. So, yeah. Back from says, really enjoy French lentils. Super easy to cook and versatile. Yeah. Ben Y says, apparently having lentils with rice make it a complete protein, i.e. good vegetarian runner food. Really? I didn't know that. Oh, I'll have to pair them that way. I did have some rice left over, but I was like, I don't like to make two things in the Instant Pot for the same meal. Although we do have two Instant Pots in the house because we brought one of ours from Chicago. So there's another one in the basement. So I guess I could double up on the Instant Pots. I think my in-laws would be like, what the heck is going on in here with all these appliances? But, maybe I'll try it. Mark Chancoco says, when I don't eat meat for a few days, my running improves in terms of feeling light and fast. Well, I think they should explore that then. I'm not trying to tell you to go vegetarian, but, if it makes you feel better, let's take a look at that. Let's see. Simon Evans says he likes tiger bread loaf with a circle cut into the top using a brie cheese as a template. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of tiger bread. I'm going to have to look at that. Martha says that's right about rice. Better if it's brown and legumes/beans together being a complete protein. Well, I mean, rice and beans, yeah, I've known about that, but I didn't know that about lentils and rice. Good to know. Really good to know. Jennifer Herring says, if she likes colors, put colorful pasta and small pieces of meat on a bowl for her. Yeah, I mean, I've done like the tricolor pasta before, but you know what? Maybe I need to make some pasta and color it food coloring colors. If I did that and then cooked it, would it keep the color though? So let's say I made my own like linguine, and then in the dough, like as I beat the egg, I dropped in like some drops of like red food coloring and then another one I did yellow and another one I did like purple. Because it's food coloring, when I cook it, will it seep out of the boiling water? I don't know. I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna have to try. I don't have a pasta roller here, but I could try to roll it out, I guess. Every time I've done that, it ends up being like super thick and almost kind of like dumplingy in the not Asian dumplings kind of the word sense of the word, but the other kind of dumpling, um, like like chicken and dumplings kind of dumpling. But we'll see, because maybe I could get her to eat that. Yeah. Sometimes she'll eat meat, and sometimes she goes crazy. But like, yeah, I just think that like she needs to have like a big meal like every couple of days, and the rest of the time she just likes to snack and nibble on things. Sean Marshall says salmon is my and his happy emoji. Says especially smoked salmon as a New Yorker. Salmon is delicious. I mean, salmon is good. I prefer trout to salmon because I think that the flavor is better. I still do eat seafood or fish from time to time. And Frank says legumes plus a green is almost always a complete protein. Cool. This is a good, nice little rule of thumb to remember. Basically, when you mix a bunch of food in a bowl, then it's pretty good for you. Or I guess one way to look at it. Sean Marshall says, I like seasoning and roasting chickpeas with veggies, tahini, and rice. That's good. My wife's like roasted chickpeas like months ago. And I thought it was amazingly good. We need to do that again. Thanks for the reminder, Sean. There's a lot of food talk today. Lightning Sauce, that's a great name. Lightning Sauce says, love your content reviews. Well, thanks, Lightning. Thanks for tuning in today. Yeah. Frank says, I've got one kid who doesn't eat beef, one who doesn't eat chicken, and a wife who's keto, and I'm veggie. I mean, I feel like my house could very easily take that kind of turn. Very easily. I could see it. But yeah, so then do you make one meal for everyone, or does everyone kind of like have their own meal, or how does that work? Oh, Brandon Cam is here. What's going on, Brandon? Brendan, sorry. Brendan. Sean Marshall asks, Kofuzi, what's the fastest you've ever sent back a pair of shoes? I've never sent back a pair of shoes. I used to have this really bad problem where the first time I would ever run in a pair of running shoes, it would inevitably be like, even if the forecast was for like 65 and sunny, it would inevitably be like rainy and muddy. So like, it's like, I can't bring back a pair of shoes that was like, I ran in the mud. But even since then, I don't think I've ever returned a pair of running shoes. I've just not run in them. Or I've tried to make it work. I was like, maybe, you go in denial. Maybe it'll be better after the next couple of runs. Maybe it'll break in. That's why I hate when people are like, oh, you just have to break in the shoe. I don't believe that. It's not always false, but it tends to be. But the shoe that I knew instantly I didn't like was a Hyperion Elite 1. And that one was like, nope, this isn't it. Let's see. Frank says for dinner at his house, there's usually two things going on. That's pretty true at our house too. Well, usually there's just like a lot of stuff on the table, and when I set everything down, when I make dinner, like I generally like put like the veggies over by me and my mother-in-law and my wife were on like this side. And then like the meat is over on this side by the kids and my father-in-law, just the way everyone like tends to sit at the dinner table at night. So like there's just stuff. So like I make kind of like a variety of things that all kind of go together. But in this family, there are no food mixers. I'm like, give me one big bowl and stir all the food around in it. And if we want, put some barbecue sauce and hot sauce on top. I could eat like every meal like that. But all the other eaters in this family, everything is very like separated out, like regimented. So like my kids are not generally like a fan of like I think this is common with a lot of kids. They don't like it when the two foods touch, you know? My kids are definitely that way. I'm not that way. Like when I eat, like even like Thanksgiving, like I'm just like, give me like a base layer of mashed potatoes, then like fill the other half of the plate with corn, the other half of the plate with green beans, and then let's get some stuffing and just plop that on top, and then I'll just kind of like shovel it out. That's kind of how I like to eat. So like when bowls became like a big thing at like a lot of lunch places, I was like, this is great. So many options now. So either like a big giant bowl or like a handheld something like a burrito or sandwich. That's kind of like how I like to eat. Yeah. Ben, why? This is a good challenge. Can someone think of one meal Frank Lillier and his family can have? So one kid doesn't eat beef, one doesn't eat fish, his wife's keto, and Frank's vegetarian. I mean, I would go like Indian or Asian. I think that there's a lot of in that kind of that area where they don't eat a lot of beef to begin with. I think that's where I would look. Like, but keto, you can't have rice though, so that makes it harder. Or can you have rice? You guys are talking about it. I'm missing it. Yeah, I don't really understand keto either. Martha was saying she doesn't understand it. I don't understand it either. Jody says, just a heads up, Ricky Gates is on Ginger Runner today. Cool. Awesome. Simon Evans says, don't eat Mexican food the night before a marathon. It was only a restaurant with space. I was lucky to find a portable toilet just in time. Apologies to the guy that was. I don't know what the rest of it is, but yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, I've had Mexican food the night before a marathon, but I eat like beans and refried beans pretty regularly, if not daily. So maybe I'm just accustomed to it. So I would say like, I would say go with what you're normally used to eating. Something that's predictable to you and your like digestive system. But if it's the only place open or the only restaurant that has space, yeah, I can understand that. Lewis says, have your in-laws ever watched the live streams? This can go either way. I think, I don't think they have. I don't think my wife usually does either. My mom watches. She's here. But yeah, I don't think it could go. I mean, I'm not, I'm not hiding it from them. So I'm comfortable with what I'm saying, on the air. Runner Stock says, Mike, do you go back to Chicago? My wife recently went back just to get more clothes and to take care of some mail issues for us. She went on like a Friday night and came back on a Saturday, or maybe it was a Thursday and then came back on a Friday. I don't remember. And then we'll have to do it again at some point, probably before it gets very cold. So I don't know, the next month or so, we'll probably do a bigger trip with her and me. Unless we go back. I mean, it depends on how things are going in Chicago. If things are going. I mean, here's one thing is the president promised us we'd have a vaccine before the election, so we should be getting one any one day now, according to him. If that's not true, then then we'll have to keep seeing what's going to happen. And I think it's unlikely, absent a vaccine, that Chicago public schools goes back to in-person learning. So as long as it's still virtual, we're probably going to continue doing virtual from here. Chris says, my son has Asperger's. Don't remind him about food on plate issues. I can't. Yeah, that's got to be tough. Yeah, Frank says, a lot of times we eat stuff where you can just pick what you want and stick it together, fajitas, that sort of thing. And I think that's a good way to do it too. And that's, in a sense, a lot of what we do here. When we have taco night, it's amazing. There's just like a cornucopia of food. And it's interesting to see what's like on everyone else's plate. Not that I'm watching what people eat, but I notice, where things get passed into which direction, in terms of past the, lettuce, that kind of thing. So, yeah, but that's kind of how like all of our meals are like that here too, where it's like there's the meat and then there's like usually the veggie protein that I'm more interested in, and the salad is usually by me. I've over the last 6 months, I've eaten more Western dressing than I've ever eaten before. I got to tell you, but Western dressing and ranch, I've had a lot of those, both of those. All right, I'm going to finish up this cake because I don't want to not finish the cake before the live stream ends, but we got to get going soon. Stevie76 says, as someone that loves running in water, can you confirm that long exposure to water does not degrade the performance of the shoe foams? I can confirm that. I think it depends on what you mean by long exposure, but repeat exposure to it it's not a problem, so it's fine. I mean, I don't know if if it's like an Under Armour shoe that's got a foot pod built into it, that's going to affect the foot pod, I think. But water, I think, though, the terminology is these are closed cell foams, so water can't get in there. I mean, inside I don't think water gets inside them. So water gets inside the shoe and on the shoe parts, but I don't think it permeates, if I'm understanding it correctly. So I think it's fine. But I also haven't read any studies about it, so I can't confirm it, but in my experience, it's fine. All right. Oh, Jody says, you missed the opportunity of saying my in-laws are the greatest, just in case they are watching or listening in downstairs. That's true. I missed it. They know that they're greatest. Oh, where did it go? Where did that go? Chris says there's a scary video out of Provo, Utah, with a runner being stalked by a cougar. That's pretty crazy. I just have farm dogs to deal with over here. Yeah. Stevie76 says Kafuzi is their favorite son-in-law. I don't know that that's always true, but lately it is. I think it is because I've been helping out. I helped out with digging the trench for the downspouts on the house. I helped do some insulation underneath the deck. I've been helping out a lot of stuff. I helped put in a window. I'm pretty good with the tool there's a special tool you use to put on aluminum siding. I'm really good at that now. So I feel like I've been pretty useful lately, much more useful than I normally am at these kinds of things. So, all right, the cake is done. I finished it, not the whole cake, but I finished the rather large piece that I had cut for myself. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today. Tomorrow's video, I am going to make that video about the knee braces tomorrow to kind of give you guys, my thoughts on a couple of different kinds of knee braces. And then tomorrow we'll do Trivia Tuesday, and we'll have them on the banner on the bottom and everything like that again too. So have it show up, playing around with some of these tools that I have here. Oh, look, Colin's here. Really good to see you, Colin. How are you? Yeah, so we'll do another Trivia Tuesday tomorrow, and same time. 3 p.m. Central Time here. Hopefully I'll see you guys. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.